Aloha, sports fans, and welcome to the latest edition of the Emporia Sports Buzz.
This is the high school edition.
Thank you, Mike. This is Jesse, Newell Gazette sports reporter, alongside, as I always am, by Michael, the man, the myth, the legend, Ashford. Michael, say hi to everybody out there.
Well, no more basketball tournaments to talk about for a long time, so I'm kind of happy.
A long time? Give it like 2 weeks, Mike. State, sub-state, all these tournaments will come back for you.
Here in Emporia, no, but outside of that, yes. Well, I think we'll have some area teams, some Emporia High teams, and state, sub-state, stuff like that. So.
Ooh, a fearless prediction. We usually don't do those. This is the Emporia Sports Buzz, where you turn for all your information, chitter chatter, rambling. But anyway, let's talk about Emporia High first, like we always do, Mike. Basketball teams, they go to face Shawnee Heights in they beat them both. The girls and boys both beat Shawnee Heights in tournament championships. Go to Shawnee Heights last week and lose to both T-Birds in both games. Mike, talk about Emporia High a little bit in that game. I know there was a big crowd for that game, and Emporia High might have, kind of got caught in the big crowd and kind of the big atmosphere that happened up there.
Well, you talk about the big crowd at Shawnee Heights. I just want to say that was the best high school basketball atmosphere I've ever been in, outside of a state playoff type atmosphere. I mean, the Shawnee Heights fans were remarkably coordinated with their cheers and their chants and stuff like that. They had sections by color with what the students wore. It was just absolutely fantastic. Loud, the loudest high school basketball crowd I've ever heard. Just fantastic. And the Spartans, for the most part, the boys, handled that crowd remarkably well right up until the very last part of the game, where it seemed like things really rattled the Spartans, especially when Shawnee Heights took their lead at 60-59, which ended up being the final score of the game. Shawnee Heights is a very good basketball team on both the boys and the girls side, and Kadra Bloomquist just misses a running jumper in between two defenders that would have won it for the Spartans at the very end. But not a horrible performance by the Spartans, considering the atmosphere and considering the team. Shawnee Heights is a very good team. And it's a loss that you don't want in league play when the Spartans still had a chance at the league title. But not a bad loss. Shawnee Heights is a good team, and it was on the road. There's not a whole lot else you can say about that.
Emporia High was on quite a roll coming into this game. They switched to the motion offense. They won quite a few games in a row. Does this derail them for the rest of the season? I mean, does this kind of get them off track and make them think, well, we were playing well, but we lost this close one now? I mean, do you think this kind of gets them off track?
I don't think it gets them off track simply because they did play well in this game against Shawnee Heights. Shawnee Heights just got a nice rebound there at the end with about 13 seconds left, and then got a nice stick back. The Spartans played well. Did they play their best basketball that I've seen them play during that 5-game winning streak? No. But they come home. They go to Topeka High this week, which they have a very good chance to right the ship there. Topeka High is not quite as good as they were last year, and then they come home versus Seaman, who is at the bottom of the Centennial League standings, or near the bottom. This is. It hurts just because it's a loss, but the Spartans still played well in this game.
Let's talk about the Lady Spartans a little bit, and the road woes have kind of got to be getting to them right now, because right now they're a great team at home, they're a great team on a neutral floor, but Mike, they're winless on the road still, and this is pretty late in the season to have that.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you still look at things, it's Washburn Rural, Junction City, and a very good Shawnee Heights team that the Lady Spartans have losses to. It just so happens that they all come on the road. Eventually, you look at Topeka High on Tuesday, that's probably going to be a win for the Lady Spartans, but I don't think the panic button is being pushed at all. I don't even think, the little cover on the panic button is being opened yet. It's just, they've gotten a tough draw here with their road games lately. Against Shawnee Heights, Coach Bill Neinstead didn't really like the way that the Lady Spartans lost, because in the losses to Junction City and Rural, the Lady Spartans played very well in those games. In this game, not quite physical enough. Came back, was down by about 10, 12 points, came back, actually took a lead, and then couldn't hang on to it late in the game. And give credit to Shawnee Heights for using that energy of that crowd and feeding off of it, and kind of pulling away there at the end. But it's just kind of the setup that Emporia High has been dealt so far. Like you said, those neutral court situations they've been excellent in, and when you get to the sub-state and state playoff rounds, that's where you're going to be. So no panic for the Lady Spartans.
Still with the opportunity to make a pretty good run here in the postseason, and a pretty good run anywhere, I guess, because they still are number 2 in the state, at least until the new rankings come out this week. Let's talk about the Emporia High Wrestling team, Mike. They sweep a pair of duels here in this last weekend. They seem to start maybe slowly but surely getting things back on track here toward the second half of the season.
Yeah, they go to the Shawnee Mission West invite and just crush Shawnee Mission West, the host school, and Shawnee Mission South. And and this was not all the wrestlers wrestled in both duels against those two teams. And got some good experience for some of these guys, and this team, ever since the Newton Invitational, I believe it was, this team has really started to come around to things and has really started to, I guess, up the ante. That this team is starting to look towards the postseason because it's right around the corner. I mean, this weekend's league and up at Topeka West, and that is what this team has been focusing on all year long. They want to keep that Centennial League title that they got back last year after a couple years of Manhattan taking the title. But, I mean, they also look forward to regional play, or the regional tournament, and state. I mean, this team still has a lot of talent on it and is very capable of making some nice runs here in the postseason.
Speaking of getting closer to the league, let's talk about the swimming and diving team, because they are really close to the league too. They have that coming up this week, Mike, and I know they've been tapering. That's what we hear from Coach Bob Yevac all the time. Where are they set up right now in the Centennial League? Because I know earlier on in the season, they said, hey, maybe this is a year we can pick off a couple teams. Maybe this is a year we can win it. Well, where are they stacking up right now?
That was predicated on Manhattan and Washburn Rule possibly being down this year, and that has absolutely not happened. Rule is as strong as ever, and Manhattan looks to be a beast in the pool too. I mean, those two programs are always going to be good. Emporia High was maybe counting on them after the losses that they had this last year, maybe them being down a little bit. Not the case. I mean, the Spartans are swimming well. They're tapering. Their times are coming down. Aaron Clark and Derek Krause have been fantastic. Clark in the freestyle events and Krause in the diving competition, but. This team is as good as it's been over the last few years, obviously, but those two teams, Manhattan and Washburn Rule, are just so strong in the pool.
Right now, we're getting, how you said, the league play, the Centennial meet play. Also, we're going to talk about the area schools a little bit. I know there's kind of been, for basketball-wise, playing some, Wichita Home Schools, St. James Academies, some different teams in there, but also their regional plays are coming up here, regional substates, so come up really quickly for them. No really scores of note. I know we took down Wichita Home School in a couple of close games, but, area schools are just kind of feeling their way toward the sub-state. We're going to have a lot of action coming here later.
It's that week after those tournaments. Some schools are on, playing some Tuesdays and off on Fridays. Some are off on Tuesday and playing on Friday. I mean, it's just a kind of back and forth thing right now until this next week, I believe, when things kind of start getting into motion. I'm interested to talk about Thursday night's matchup between Olpe and Northern Heights on the boys' side. That looks to be like it will be a whale of a game.
Definitely. I mean, the Heights has proven more than that. 14-1, 13-1, and under Coach Laney Maxey up there have been on a roll. Finally got into the rankings after we complained about it a little bit. They're number 9 there. Opie with that fast pace, full court style of offense.
One loss. I mean, two teams with 2 combined losses between them.
That should be a great matchup. 2 really good teams, really close to Emporia, so if you can make it out there, make it there. Also, I wanted to mention really quickly, Ed Noonan is going to sign on with the Emporia State football team. I know he had a great year for Emporia High. I think that's a good move for him, don't you?
Absolutely. I mean, he had some opportunities to go to some JUCOs and maybe work his way up to maybe a lower level, like the Division 1A or FCS or
1AA.
1AA level. I mean, he's a very good running back, but the Division 2 level gives him a chance to redshirt and then immediately break into playing time. And the hometown fans will get to see him tear it up on the Welch Stadium turf again for another 4 years. And this should be exciting because he's a very good running back, and I think the Emporia State program got a very nice player.
I think Aaron Higgins can use him in a lot of different ways, returning, different sets, even wide receiver maybe. I know he's had some area players like that, Matt Corson, go and kind of play the slot receiver role. So we'll see what they do with Ed Noonan in that matchup. They might move him around and kind of find a better fit for him.
Absolutely.
I think that's all the time we got for Jesse Newell, Gazette Sports reporter, and Michael Ashford, the man, the myth, the legend, Gazette Sports editor. We're going to sign off for the Emporia Sports Buzz. But before we go, Mike, we need some advice for all those kids out there.
Drink your milk, does the body good.
I got nothing to say. It did my body good. I mean, what else do you need to see? We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.